Hey, everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm Camilla.
And we're talking about Kickstarter and Gamefound projects and, well, other stuff, too, on this show. And you know what? We did it 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, we did the show, and we did 2 weeks' worth of stuff.
We did. We did.
I remember that.
Good stuff. Yeah.
You would think we were doing 2 weeks of stuff this week.
There's
Feels
a lot.
like it, yeah. We're definitely getting into that hot, like, pre-Gen Con, you know, kind of people starting to look, thinking about Gen Con, thinking about Christmas, like that season,
As if you're
you will.
getting any of this for
You're not,
Christmas.
but I think like it's on the mind,
No.
is what I'm saying. I
You
think
get a
it's,
card that says pledge coming your way.
I pledged for you.
In 5 years. Instead of, like, someone dies, you're like, in lieu of flowers, Kickstarter donations will be allowed.
In lieu of
that a
presents.
thing you can do?
In lieu of stocking
You
stuffers.
can say whatever you want, I guess.
Oh, my goodness.
You can just, I don't know if I've ever seen that, like, in lieu of flowers, I'll take cash.
It's more like in lieu of flowers.
It's always like a donation. There's
Please
something
make
right?
a donation
Charity,
to
yeah.
this
But
basket.
then I go to the
account.
funeral and it's always full of flowers anyway. I'm like, I guess people didn't listen.
Yeah.
Hey, though, we got a lot of stuff to jump into. We'll start with one of our sponsors, Gamefound. We'll take a look at one of their projects. Today we're taking a look at Machina, Arcana, Vivarium, a cooperative tactical horror adventure here for 1 to 4 players, cosmic eldritch horror. Now this particular Gamefound project is pushing the expansion, but also the base game if you've never played it. There's 90 unique miniatures in here, and in fact, let's just jump down and look at some of these miniatures. There's some pretty horrific and cool looking things. Like, I wouldn't want to see that guy coming at me, but the heroes, hooray for them. And so there's some things that they've changed about the game. They've modified it a bit, but the new expansion, the Vivarium expansion, which requires a core game, is compatible with all scenarios and additions. So in this game, you're exploring through terrain. You're having all sorts of different encounters. You might meet this weird looking guy who will change items with you. And there's a story involved with it. So you're playing through, trying to, get through all this horror and find different things and just complete your scenarios throughout this game. So you can get the Ultimate Box, which has everything in one giant box. You can get just the expansion, the Veteran Box, the Core Box. There's lots of different ways to jump into this game now. So definitely check this out, both the expansion and the base game, on Gamefound right now. That's Machina, Arcana. Alrighty, our first project is one I threw in here because, I normally pick big projects that are doing well or things we look at. But we've talked about this in the past, and I think this is a cool thing. And I think because of this website, it's on Crowdfunder.
Yes.
People are not going to notice it.
Yes,
I agree.
Yes.
I've never heard of this website
Crowdfunder.
at all. Crowdfunder.
I think we've heard of it because we featured this board game convention in the past.
Last year.
That might be
It's
it.
like crowdfunder.uk or something too, isn't it? It's not .com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
.co.uk.
And that it might be some
yes.
reasons because it's supporting something in Africa. But this is a Uganda Village board game convention for these rural kids here of northern Uganda. This is like a really good cause. So there's only 15 people backing it right now. So I figure if I tell you all about it, maybe one of you will not back one of these overproduced Kickstarter. We're going to talk about a lot of overproduced
We have a
Kickstarters
lot
today.
this week.
So skip one of them, and why not help these kids out here?
And I really
mean,
like
goodness, just skip one of the add-ons and give them the 20 bucks.
right. Yeah, for sure. And I really like how transparent they're being as well. It's not just, hey, we need this amount of money to make this happen. It's like, we're growing. We need extra mosquito nets. We need, it's malaria season, so we need this many doses of the malaria medicine, so it's all broken down to exactly what they need. You know what your money's going for. You can just blank donate, or you can be like, you know what, I'll take care of the mosquito net. I'll take care of the medication. I think that transparency really lends well to the cause.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's an interesting thing we're here because most adults don't know how to play games. The kids are the ones kind of teaching the games and running the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, it's the youth bringing this to us.
Yeah,
so.
that's great.
And they want them to have T-shirts. They know how to play. The teachers get a T-shirt. I think it's really cool.
So definitely check
Makes
it
me
out.
happy.
All right, back to consumeristic stuff. All righty. Wait, this one hasn't even launched yet.
I don't think I saw this one.
Yeah, I don't think I saw this either.
Are you looking for next
didn't.
week?
How about this one?
Oh.
Regulus High Fantasy Arena Sports.
I saw this one.
Yes, I think this is the first one.
Humans, orcs, vampires, and dwarves come for an epic clash of arena combat because we have never seen fantasy races in arena combat before.
Not like this.
That picture, when I first looked at it, I'm like, is that guy hitting himself? Because it shows like a clash behind him and like he went too far back. Then
The guy with the sword. Okay.
Then I was trying to
That one
figure
up
out
there,
if he's actually facing that way. Like, is that a weird opening in his helmet? And it just is distracting. Meanwhile, that orc is not going to swing. He's just holding the axe, I think.
Yeah, he's just intimidating. That's all.
It doesn't look like he's actually going to follow through on that.
Why don't you go find out?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't love the look of this game. The artwork, as we've
I was trying to say that in a more
as we've
roundabout
now
way.
discussed, with the artwork, but also just the gameplay. I don't know. I don't like how blank that central playing board, game board feels.
Okay, interesting.
The sort of, I'd rather
When she
play
says
it.
that, she means, I disagree.
Well, it's
Interesting.
Well, here's the thing. I like abstract games.
Yeah.
And I like thematic games. Mm-hmm. There's an area in between, kind of like Dusk,
Yes.
that
yeah.
I can't see well in and have a hard time focusing.
And
this is my Dusk.
I feel like I need that Dusk in order to be interested at all in an abstract game.
Sure.
And so I'm like, oh, this looks like Dusk. Yeah.
But then why not just play the thematic game
What
that
is
does
Dusk?
away
It's
with... You
like
really need
you're
to
between.
be
Oh my
listening
gosh.
to my analogies. I thought it was straight fuego.
Wait, are we
I
talking
bought
about
in.
Dusk?
I bought
no, I
in.
listened to your analogy. Is Dusk a name of a game?
No, Dusk is a time of day.
That doesn't mean anything in this conversation. It could be the name of a game,
It
and you
does.
know it.
It's like,
I understand
Okay,
that
it
it's
could
time
be,
of day,
but
but
it's
that's not
not.
a dumb question for me to have asked.
Okay, well, what about if I talk to you like this in this voice? Don't ask me stupid questions. It's a time of day at which, again, I was saying
I know
that
it's
I like...
time of day, but I just...
Well, let me explain it to you again. When it stops being daylight and it becomes nighttime, it's not an immediate thing. There's a little overlay. I can't see during the dusk. Get out of the road. I'm going to kill you.
You were using it as a combination with...
I was saying abstract games I love. Thematic games I love. One is daytime, one is nighttime. When you start mixing them, i.e. dusk.
That's a bad analogy. Don't
was-
try to defend it.
Did anyone out there not understand the analogy? Anyway, this looks too abstract for how thematic it is. It looks too thematic for a pure abstract.
I think it looks like a themed abstract, and that's about the only way I'm going to play an abstract. So I'd be interested in trying it. Kind of was giving me the vibes of that Chip Theory one, the Hoplomachus.
Oh, okay, yeah. A little bit.
I just hate the artwork, so I think I'm not going to play it based on that. Nah. All right.
Interesting.
I like that Joey. Leia, I love you. Han Solo. Interesting. That's great.
All right. Anyway, Wild Hunt Festival Chronicles. Hit JRPG board game is back. I would never have guessed from the art that this is a JRPG board game. Wild Hunt Studios, which looks like an offshoot of Japanime games there a little bit.
It's the
To be
first
fair,
thing.
this stuff does tend to start boring together.
Yeah.
They really they're copying not a board game here. They're copying a computer game or a video game.
Very
or a
much so, yeah.
vibe, that look of those games from that time period, yeah.
Right. It definitely looks like this could be anything from a video game to an RPG to a board game to
Yeah, it's
just
all that
very
stuff, all those,
generic kind of looking.
Video
Yeah.
games people were playing back in the day on that PS1. Represent.
I think they talk more in this page though about, hey, you're building your thing. I'm like, cool, but how about playing the game? Like, but look how
I
many
agree.
things you can do when you build your character. Great. How do you play the game?
Right.
Shut up and build another character.
It's like just RPG. Yeah.
To be fair, sometimes there are some things I've done. I used to play an RPG where I would build characters and I'd be like, and now we're done. Let's build another
Let's
character.
start over.
All right. Don't worry, the big Kickstarters are coming eventually.
look
Dark Venture, Battle of the Ancients, second printing. Do you like your... This is one of those games I distinctly remember seeing this cover before. It's such
Yes.
it's that 80s record and metal.
And they treat
Yep.
it that way in the video even. The video's like all fuzzy. It's like the VHS tracking and stuff. Have you guys played this at all or seen it in person?
Did this come
No,
through?
is
I
it a
don't think
second
did.
edition?
Thing, so it's a second
okay, I
edition.
missed
Yeah.
that. No, to the point that, I mean, to your point of the cover is memorable, I forget almost everything about the gameplay from when I looked at this project.
It's actually
yesterday.
It's like a dungeon crawly kind of thing. It's a little bit like the one, the first one we looked at actually, with a grid and you're moving
Regulus.
around on the grid and all that stuff. It looks like a lot. You have weird fantasy races or sci-fi characters, and you are clashing with the other people. Is as best as I can figure it
This one
out.
just feels loud to me. I don't know how else to say it.
my
Like
gosh,
I
yes,
feel
that's a
like
perfect descriptor.
sensory overloaded.
So much
looking
Loud
at
like
this
the
one.
board game or like the It was Joey who said it.
Joey did it.
Anyhow, this reminds me of the games that are made by, is it not Formal Fair? What's the company who makes the one about the cosmic frogs? That company.
Oh,
Devious Weasel.
yeah, I think
yeah.
maybe Devious Weasel.
It looks like their game.
Yes, it does.
Okay, it has tons of text, tons of theme.
Kind of looks also like that one with the dark castle. Everything's black and white.
Oh, Escape the Dark Castle.
But like they just
yeah.
discovered color. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those guys just discovered color, and they're like,
Right.
"Wow."
I love it. Yeah, this one did not grab me.
Conquerors and Conquests. From the folks who brought you boring names, we have a new game that looks like it's 8-bit for no reason again.
Yeah.
It's also like
for 8-bit.
it's bad 8-bit too.
It is.
It's like there's good 8-bit artwork and there's bad 8-bit artwork, and this I just don't like. You have to be so careful with your font when it comes to 8-bit also. You get away with a lot with characters, especially a recognizable thing. But, man, the words... look, right there, Legendary Pledge. I can't read what it says below that.
Yeah.
What does that say?
Personalized artwork.
They didn't show the
That's
picture of the
horrible.
person here, though, before it would turn personalized. You know, is that?
Oh,
I
that's
wanna see
right.
the before and after
Show me
there.
how it worked. No, I don't know. I don't have an eye for 8-bit. To me, this looks like you hit Control P in the middle of your video game, and I don't like that look at all. This looks like
Control P pixelizes?
no print. Control P.
God.
You're just like print
I didn't know
screen.
what that meant.
That was a real... That was your dusk moment.
That was
Let's
like
just
that's
put
how
it
you
that
print.
way.
Control P. It prints. That's your print
You're correct.
shortcut.
It's been a long... Does that work nowadays?
Yeah. I use it at least 3 times a day.
That's why I'm always running out of ink.
Yes,
All right.
that's where all your ink goes. I randomly print my
All
my
right, let's get
pixelated
to a
games.
good project. Gametoppers 5.0 game table system,
This
game
is
mats,
cool.
and accessories.
Yes.
Yes.
So he was making bank at Origins when I went by the booth. People were buying these right and left. There's a couple things about his new tables I really like. One of them is I like a lot of his add-ons. Well, first of all, he has amazing mats. They're
mats
pretty
are
fantastic.
so
Yes.
cool.
I like the Ryan Lockett, but I like one thing that Berkey does is he said he makes sure that he puts the busy stuff
Yes.
around the outside
They're
of the
so
map
well
so you can
placed.
play in the middle.
Gotta do it.
Yep.
I also like these custom little boards you can put on the side. So they slot in those
Oh.
things on the side. So this one is Lord of the Rings.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's like engraved, right?
Yeah, but you could even get personalized ones if you wanted to. I think you'd probably pay a bit for
Yeah,
them.
that's cool.
Adjustable legs. That's
I like the legs so that it doesn't have to go on top of another table. You can always get the table for it now.
Right.
You know, that's nice. And another thing I thought was really interesting to listen to him talk about shipping, how he had to work and kind of reformat some things about the table or redo the table to get it to ship in 2 boxes, because shipping in 2 boxes is less than half the price of shipping in 1.
That's so crazy.
And so, yeah, now you have to do a little bit of assembly. And so that is to note when you get these, you do have to assemble a little bit. Like you have to put the sides on the base of the table because they come in a separate package. But it's like half the price of shipping.
Yeah.
It's like insane. It went from like, he was talking about in the video, like it was over $400 to ship to the UK. And now it's under $200.
Yeah, that's
like
amazing.
insane.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's exactly the kind of thing that somebody who sits there and works the numbers and figures
Yeah.
this stuff out, I applaud you all day
Yeah.
until dusk. Then I applaud you at night because that's what comes
Because
in.
that's what's next.
Drop it.
what's after that. All right, the Grail game Pixel series. Now this one has a little bit more reason to be pixel, right? Because
Sure.
they're trying to make them look like Game Boys. Because we're trying to just continue on this nostalgia kick. This is from Grail Games. Grail Games make some pretty good stuff.
This one doesn't feel like it fits them. I know they've put out that level 10 or whatever it is before.
I played level
that
10.
one. That one's come out before that one. Have you played that one?
I think I did. It's hard to remember now.
Did it come in the Game Boy box?
It looks like that.
Just like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like that.
Okay.
Oh, good news, guys. You're supporting us. They're a small indie publisher as opposed to every other company we're looking at today. Stop saying that, publishers. You're all small indie publishers. When you've created 30 projects, you don't look smaller than everyone else. Sorry. Continue, Z.
You suck. No, what was I talking about? No, Grail Games does not usually make games that look like this was going to be my point. They do bigger games, generally speaking. They've had quite the catalog already, so this seems like a weird move for them, but I guess they've done it before with the level 10. I'm not loving the look of these. That whole nostalgic, haha, it looks like a Game Boy, works for about 5 seconds. That's cool for about 5 seconds, and then you get over that. And then you're like, okay, that's cute. Ohio Bob, it looks awful. I looked at one.
It looks like the DuckTales font.
It looks like they're going for
yeah.
that meets Indiana Jones kind of thing. I saw the one with the ships was the one I mostly paid attention to, and it was like, yeah, it's a game. It's got some spaceships coming down. You rotate the cards when things get damaged or something.
These feel like at a store, and I sit there and go, my niece likes Stardew Valley. I will buy this Harvest Valley as a gift for them, and they will love it forever.
It seems like that impulse buy at a local game store more than a Kickstarter project. But I liked the idea of the Game Boy because, again, I don't love 16-bit art. I think if you're going to do it, putting it in this package where it's like very deliberate. It has a reason to be there now. You know, I thought that was well handled and cute.
Also, this doesn't need to be Kickstarted. I only say that because they're delivering in August.
Which
and
means
if you're delivering in August,
printed.
they've already pressed the button on print.
Oh, interesting.
There's no way. I mean, August is a month away. There's no way they have not printed this yet, especially now with everything going on.
It should have just been a pre-order. I guess it's just, again, just
That's
that
what this- well,
publicity.
we all know
just to
Kickstarter
see
Call
it.
it that.
Yeah.
You can't legally call it that, I think, but yes.
Simon did.
Who's a good
On
boy?
Gamefound.
Gamefound.
Yeah.
So, would you like to play a game where dogs can sin?
What? I thought that this was a weird word usage. I thought this is such a cute game. It's like, oh, who's a good boy? It's about doggies, and they do good things and they do bad things. And then the tagline is a game where dogs can sin. I'm like, ooh,
right.
that feels incredibly heavy-handed. Like,
It's very icky. Like,
Yeah.
they're nefariously trying to do bad things.
It's a
I
dog.
feel like
you know,
mine do.
I feel like a dog can't actually sin. You know what I mean? It's a dog.
Because they're such
Well,
good
obviously,
boys.
'Cause they're
not going to
dogs.
give cigarettes to a kid. Come on.
I'm just saying. I thought it was a weird way to it sounded heavy-handed. The tagline, and the whole thing seems to be that one part of Munchkin that pretty much everyone hates, kind of including Munchkin players, which is the part where you're like, I'm attacking that thing. Yeah, but now it's +3,
yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, cancel. And you're like, well, then it's +7.
Yeah.
That part, without the leveling up, without the funny humor, without the
Right.
getting new equipment. It's just the jerk part of Munchkin.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, they're going off the artwork here.
Definitely seems like a swing and a miss gameplay-wise.
Don't worry, big projects are coming. Rapid Fire Dicebox Fantasy Editions. Counting Dice just got rapid.
I mean, we saw these before, right?
Yeah.
We saw was it
Sci-fi
Space or
ones, yeah.
okay, one. So now they're bringing fantasy to it.
I don't know
I think
why
it's
this
cool.
amuses me to pull all these dice out.
I
I just
love
like
it
it.
so
I'm like,
much.
yes, just
I
pull the
love
dice
it.
out. Now throw them back in.
Yep.
Now pull them out again. Throw them
Yep.
back in.
It seems cool. I mean, multiples of 5, I guess,
Yep.
is the ideal thing. I do wish it was not always 5. I wish they would give you STLs for different sizes.
Well, I mean, you could always just take out 3, couldn't
I
you?
don't
Do
know
you
how
have to
easily
take?
you
I
can do
wonder.
it.
The size of your dice.
No, that won't work.
No,
it's
it's not
5
how that
channels
works.
in there. There's a little channels, yeah.
Well, wait, how are they fitting these in then? There's a 7.
Yeah, they trickle down into
they go
just
into
5 channels. They also modified it from the previous printing to widen those channel intakes so that there's less jamming. It seems good. I really like it. I just wish that I could make it say, I don't know, 3 dice across.
How many would you? Well, I think it probably depends on the type of game you're playing. You know,
I think
like
miniatures games are rolling a lot of dice.
right, so they need 5, 10,
How
15
much
or
are
something
these?
like that. You know, whereas if I'm playing, I need 3 attack dice. Let me, I would want multiples of 3 just for the type of games.
too.
Can you buy it or do you have to print it? There it is, a physical pack. $33 for one of these is not bad.
Oh.
I'm assuming it's not painted. Is it painted?
Oh, I assume not as well.
Well, it might not need to be
3D
painted if they print in multiple
printed,
colors.
physical, fantasy, rapid fire Dropbox.
All the ones that
piece
show here are
spellbound.
definitely painted.
Yeah, that's true.
I
Well,
think
he was
you can
showing
use them-
himself painting it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So
And then as a bonus thing, you can use it as terrain, which is pretty cute.
that is. Oh.
All right, going
I
back
like
to
that.
Dogs That Can Sin. Hell Legends. This looks familiar. You might look at this and say, does this look like something you've seen before? Because it looks very much the way it's set up, like Chronicles of
Of Dronagor?
Dronagor.
Does it? Oh, okay.
The different levels and stuff
Okay.
has a very similar look. At least that part of it does. The fact that it's called Hell Legends immediately turns me off because it shows to me a lack of imagination on the people who made the game. I go, your game's called Hell. Whoa! I almost want to see the guy who made the trailer for Hate shows up. It's like, can I do this game?
Oh, yeah. This right here, that picture that you were just at there, that's what turns me off, is just seeing how black it is. That is a lot of tiny white writing on a black
Yes,
background.
It's very draining on the eyes.
It is. And then all those tokens that are going to get scuffed on the outside and just be worn looking. I am not a fan of that.
Yeah, I like the idea. I mean, I would like to mess with the game, but I'm not even close to tempted to back something like this. It looks like a little too much. The guy keeps saying, inspired by Diablo. I love Diablo. I wanted to make a Diablo on the board, on the tabletop. I'm like, okay. I'm not really getting what you were going for, and this looks a little overwrought for an unproven entity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was definitely getting the Diablo feel. Where you're having your character and you have the different spells that you're slotting in, you're leveling them up, things like that. But again, we come back to this card. It's like, I am completely on board with a Diablo game. I just feel like this one maybe felt a little too inspired by it and not really adapted well to a board game. It looks like there's a whole lot going on. I mean, just to watch them count the dice and then figure out how to level them up, what symbol means what, depending on what
That's
skill
not
you
Diablo.
did. It's
Diablo,
just,
you run around just kill stuff forever. It just blah, 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 blah. You don't need to sit there and go, I aim this, I pull this trigger, I do this.
Right, but yeah,
This
the
game should
point
be
is
chucking dice.
right. The point is we're seeing too much of behind the computer screen. We're seeing too much of the randomness, too much, that stuff that's just happening by the computer. So,
All right. Well, what about the Tournament of Towers? Stomp Stomp Dino and Safari Spaceship. Tournament of Towers already exists. I know I've seen this one.
okay.
Yeah, I think
seeing
they're
a lot of
reprinting
these.
that one. Yeah, that's what it was.
So this is the Iron Hippo 3-pack. The art here, it looks like something you'd buy at the 5 and Dime store, unfortunately. This Tournament of Towers is yet another tower building game. There's so many of these where they're like, here's all these pieces from the craft store. And it's going to be hard to beat, what's the one that you
like the junkyard, junk art?
Junk art.
Junk art,
yeah.
right. It's hard to beat Junk Art because Junk Art didn't just have the pieces, had really good rules behind them.
Yeah.
Each time you see this, it's a tower, and I feel like it's always like you've never seen one of these before, but you've seen Jenga, and that's the audience they're going for.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Stomp Stomp Dino.
I think I like this better in theory. I love this thing where you're making your little character out of Play-Doh and then you stomp it and squish it. We've seen something like this before in here with little necromolds.
Well, it's not just necromolds. They
but-
sell it in mass market with the Hulk smashing your stuff.
Yeah, we've seen a project on here before, so I like it in theory, but then I just get sad thinking about the Play-Doh drying out and then the Play-Doh getting on the boards, and then I'm like, I know in my heart of hearts it's not going to work like I want it to, and so it just makes me sad.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. None of these really get me that excited. All right. Yeah, FaeKin it. This is FaeKin.
FaeKin.
Great art, I think.
Beautiful art.
This one is doing, considering some of the weird stuff we've seen so far, I feel like this one should be doing better.
I don't
this should
understand.
be standing out compared to some of the other ones. Lioness Games, she made Biome, which I just reviewed and really enjoyed.
Oh, okay.
In the library.
Yeah, I never understand why some things do so well. Sometimes I'm like, what? It's making $250,000. This looks cute. This looks adorable. It seems interesting. It's making $13,000. Why? Like,
you mean the gameplay doesn't
I
look
think
interesting?
the gameplay looks atrocious, but I think the cards are absolutely beautiful and
Well,
visually one of my favorite thing of the week.
that's what I mean.
But-
And it does not matter, let's be fair, how
Yeah.
good a game is for it to sell well on Kickstarter.
Yeah, that's
if it
true.
looks good.
That's true. Yeah, I want to be nowhere near the gameplay of this.
Is it because
but
of the social deduction kind of stuff?
yeah, and it just seems like, oh, been there, done that. Like social deduction, bluffing, mediocre all around. But the cards themselves, I would hang them on the wall. I think they're absolutely stunning. Yeah. What?
All right. Never mind. Let's move on.
What'd I say?
You said nothing. It wasn't you.
Z?
I don't know.
Joey?
Machina
Chris?
Arcana by Vivarium. This was...
Good.
This is the one I mentioned in the very beginning. This is a game that already exists. I think they have streamlined it some bit, although, again, with these dungeon crawls, hard to tell. This is Cosmic Eldritch. Oh. So, it's a basically Arkham Horror in a sense, but not in the Fantasy Flight has kind of taken the Lovecraft and like made it their own in a sense. So sometimes we think of that is what Lovecraft is.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. This is also I don't think this is necessarily Lovecraft, but it's in that same vein.
It's Lovecraftian, yeah.
Yeah.
You have or have not played?
I have it. I don't know if I want to play or not. I was looking at the story and how it plays through. It looks interesting. I just don't like how the boards are a little more convoluted than I like them to be, right? They're like look at that
They're
board.
dark,
and they're like,
yeah.
explore the map. And I'm like, well, the cards, I think it's nice layout for those cards.
It looks good. I mean, it's just my issue with these, and it's again, it depends if I'm having a cold day or a hot day with these kinds of games, but sometimes I look at one of these pages and they keep showing me parts of the game, and they're like, and here's another subsystem, and there's also story-driven content and exploration, and then you're in a dream state, and then in there you're doing this other thing. It's just so impenetrable. Most of these overwrought games are so hard to get to the table. This one looks really complicated. To be fair, when I look at this, I think of that one that I had to, I couldn't even figure out. The deep
Madness?
Whatever.
Or Deep...
that one from those
Madness,
people.
yeah.
And I'm hoping that this is a version of that I can actually understand.
Yeah.
If so, cool. But man, I'm going to have to, get ready for this game. I'm going to have to, okay, I got my water, I got my blankie, here we go. Let's dig into this game. It looks like so much.
This is 100% one that I would, if somebody knows how to play, would sit down and play with them. I'm really, really intrigued by it. I like the world, every layer that they're talking about through the campaign here. I'm like, oh, I like that. I like this. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder how that couples with this. It really is drawing me in. But impenetrable is a good feel at the same time. The more I'm drawn in, the more I'm like, oh, but I don't know. Is it above me? I would definitely want to sit down with somebody who knows how to play, whether it's at a convention for a demo, whether it's someone in a game group, something like that. I don't want to be the one to learn this.
It also has a little bit of that feeling of am I too late to this? I know this is an expansion, and I think you can play with just that maybe, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But there's also that feeling of hey, did I already miss some stuff that I should have already gotten into? I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You love it? Better than hell.
It's the insects coming out of the guy's eye there. Let's move
What?
on.
Where?
That's
Where?
okay.
Oh, they said his insides. It's just insects.
Huh?
I thought you said insides. It's just insects.
Insects,
I thought you
yeah.
said
Insects?
insides, like his
Okay,
brain
well, I'll think
matter.
about it. All right, here's one that's doing
Oh,
incredibly
Cozy
well.
Cat Cafe.
They're not even, they're like, I think Cozy's not good enough in the tagline. We're putting it in the name now.
They're being
Yes.
very deliberate with what this is.
I was going to say, like, this is, you know what you're getting
You
here.
know if this
And
is
it's
for
working
you.
because 187,000 with 1,800 backers. I'm trying to figure out what's making this. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong. I get the name, I get the theme, all that stuff is very popular.
Yeah.
But this is a first-time creator, and they're doing very well, unless people know them from somewhere else.
I think it's one how well the Kickstarter is laid out too. Like again, you know what you're getting. The cat is forward, but it also instantly looks comfortable. It looks like it's using the word cozy, but there's game behind it at the same time. It's not cozy and you don't really do anything. It doesn't have that feel of like it's cozy to the point that you're just floating through the game. It looks like there's actually meaningful decisions as you're trying to place the tiles in specific polyomino ways to make a pattern, which is comfortable. We've seen that, you know, and so it's that middle point between cozy and still challenging enough to where like, hey, there is a game here.
My guess is also that I'm seeing a lot of content creators on this page. And a lot of videos, a lot of quotes and what have you. I'm guessing they really put a lot of money into pushing this or sent it out to a lot of content creators, paid for ads. I'm guessing they're driving a lot of eyeballs to this.
I bet so.
No,
Yeah.
okay, and then it works because it looks good. My only worry is, have we seen this before? I just played the one from Wise Wizards with the packing cats into suitcases, polyomino cats, an Isle of
That
Cats.
seems
That
monstrous.
seems, a little abusive.
Yeah, you would think so, right? But it's sounding like a very cute thing, like they're hiding in your suitcase and stuff. Whatever it is.
As you like stuff them in and close it?
Yes, that and at the end, just blood comes out. No. and the sequel's called Hell. Cat suitcase packing. And then they get Cthulhu'd up, and they come out. You know what time they come out and get you? Dusk.
I'm back in.
Anyhow, no, but I'm just saying, there's also Isle of Cats.
Yeah.
This is not the first cat tile laying game.
Especially cat
Yeah.
polyominoes. I guess somebody at some point figured out cats are kind of slinky.
cozy.
I can make them fit on like different polyominoes.
But they do.
And
They get
bam.
into all the little crevices. And so
They
I
really
think it has
do.
that like
Yeah.
realism to it almost.
Cats
you
are
know?
like a liquid.
They're amorphous solid. I could go for that.
A what?
Amorphous solid. Like
That's disgusting.
Okay.
It's sometimes
Anyhow.
a liquid, sometimes
Amorphous
a solid.
solid.
That's
Fine.
That's the Cozy Cat Cafe. All right, moving on to Paperback Adventures Volume 2. And when I saw this, I was like, oh, man, I never got around to play Paperback Adventures 1. Someone here has it, right? Do you have it?
The
No,
Adventures
no,
one? I
no.
don't have it. Is Paperback the one I like with the words and the
Yeah,
cards?
you like
That's the one I like
Paperback.
that one a lot.
Tom loves paper. And
I
your
love
wife
Paperback.
loves
I like it,
Paperback.
Yeah, but I
This
want to
is
play the
something else.
Adventures game.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about
This
the. I
is
think I like
something else, yeah.
I think I like Paperback
Joy
so
played it.
much that.
No, Chris played it, I guess.
Oh, Chris, yeah.
No. He just
I
says.
didn't have to look. It's right there.
No, I think he's just talking about Fowler's games, though. Is he talking about?
No. It talks about this one. It's a word game. Maybe Chris has
okay.
it because I wanted to try it out at some point because the fact that it's roguelite and it takes paperback, which is a game I like quite a bit. So
Yeah.
also I tend to like Fowler's games. Their stuff doesn't always hit, but he tries unique and interesting things.
That's true.
Yeah, I
they're,
agree.
they're usually their own thing.
I'm actually more interested in this than say Final Girl.
I
Because-
disagree.
No, I get it, but this theme interests me more, and they have that same kind of feeling. Like this is a solo thing. I'm not
I wish
saying
you
it's-
dusk.
I'm not saying it's better than Final Girl. I don't know. I'm just saying it interests me. Tom Vassell more.
Yeah, you can't say he's wrong.
Well,
It's
you
his
can.
opinion.
I can say I'm no longer interested in this conversation.
Great. Let's move on. So glad I showed up today. Even Deeper Regrets, an unfortunate fishing game expansion. So maybe you just stole this from the Dice Tower convention.
If you
need the
recently
expansion
acquired
for it.
Deep Regrets from Dice Tower East,
As a side note, if you happen to pick up a copy of this, it has Stolen from the Dice Tower on it. Let us know.
It is
'cause
indeed.
This is the one game we're missing from the con.
stolen from the Dice Tower.
Deep Regrets.
Unbelievable, people. What are you doing? And how dare you be watching us right now after stealing one of our
Probably
games?
playing it. Yeah.
They're sitting there playing, going, hee hee. No, it might have got misplaced or what have you. It is
Or
what
you
it is.
stole it. I hope you regret all your life choices.
All right, so when we played this, We thought that for the most part, it wasn't even, but everyone liked it. I mean, we think the artwork, the production is amazing. We thought there was too much luck in it for the most part. We are in the minority of liking it. This game was gangbusters. It was one of the most played games at Dice Tower East. Obviously, still being played currently. And we had it in Hot Games Room, and we had it in the library, and people were just loving it. Every time I stopped by, I'm like, "What do you think?" And they're like, "This is fantastic."
This is one of those that the theme carries it for sure. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And to the point that I think I was one of the ones that liked it the most in the office, but I tend to get into the themes and really enjoy that. You know.
I do like all these new cards though, and now that Nessie's in the game, I'm like, yes. Although that's a very different Nessie than normal.
Yeah.
There's a new river
But
going
kudos,
land.
it's unique.
The expansion looks really neat. I like everything that it's bringing, and it's adding so much content. I don't know. I'm really liking everything that is a part of it. How much more of this crazy artwork you're gonna get. The variety is gonna just go through the roof.
I think my concern is that it's going to add too much to the game. Because, again, it's still going to have that high luck, and I don't mind that high luck because I think it was such a fun, swingy game. Like, that luck plays into the theme. And if you start adding more and more, then does the weight of the game outweigh the luck and the experience that I want from?
Well, I'm hoping this is just sideways. Like, here's more places you can go fishing. Like, they have the river and research, and they're definitely, the fact that they moved into research, they're definitely copying the expansions to some degree for Dredge. Has that same sort of thing.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. I really meant it that time. That was interesting. Just want to clarify.
All right. Let's move on.
This is tempting.
We played God, a survival miniatures game. For some shocking reason...
This is not Jurassic Park, the miniatures game.
No.
For some reason, scientists think that messing with dinosaurs will work out fine. Every movie has taught us otherwise. Yeah, that's... I just saw that scene from Jurassic Park 3 where the...
You did?
It was a clip I saw, that whole part where he's like, they hear the cell phone. And they're like, where's the cell phone? Who had it? And he's like, oh, that guy who got eaten earlier in the movie. He was the last guy to have it.
Yeah, and then they look
and then
behind,
they turn,
and this guy's there, breathing. He's like, hello.
And then they say run, and they can outrun him because you would outrun a dinosaur like that. Especially if you're wearing a football helmet.
He's got a helmet. It's a military helmet.
I thought it was a football, isn't it? It looks like
no.
He's got a hoodie.
Pilot. He looks like a...
Oh, no, he's got that stash.
That looks like a special helmet now that I'm getting closer.
Yeah.
He's
not a brain bucket.
You think that's a military helmet?
I think he was chilling with Napoleon.
Now that would be interesting. Napoleonic miniatures against dinosaurs.
What? That would be interesting?
It would be something different. This is, again... Jurassic
what
Park.
about Western? A Western dinosaurs thing, you know?
No.
This is a sequel to Cowboys vs. Aliens?
No, the dinosaurs get thirsty. No. Maybe it'd be lush environments.
I like the name of it. I like how it looks. But yes, it's definitely a ripoff of Jurassic Park. I'm not sure the miniatures. I'm looking at these. They look fine. They look a little...
They're really well lit for those pictures.
Right,
I will say that.
Which makes them look like super shiny and smooth, and I don't think they are. They look like they have a lot of texture.
Yeah, they look too smooth.
Yeah, and I don't think they are.
But it's like
it's a lighting issue.
It's every single dinosaur you saw in Jurassic Park, basically. They're like, this guy. Yeah. This guy. I'm like, all right, I get it. You basically just can't say Jurassic Park, but everything else is Jurassic Park.
So we have the Isofarian Guard Veilward. This is a follow-up to Isofarian Guard. If you thought, for example, that there was not enough content in that box, and the box is huge, and the box is heavy, and it feels like Doctor Who thing. I was packing it up yesterday. Well, I wasn't. I was watching someone else pack it up, and so much stuff goes in that box.
Did you play it? Do you like it? I want to play this.
Are you coming out this week?
Oh.
Here's the thing, though. I'll say this: if you like
really want to play it,
huge chunks of text, you'll like this. If you like the idea of going to town Not going to town, but
Like going to town?
Yeah. What
going into a town
Oh, no.
and having a bunch of stuff to do.
Yes.
There's a lot of that in here.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not 100% sure that stuff matches with the combat, because the combat is a really cool chip pulling. The combat's pretty awesome. I love it. There's almost too much text for me, and I didn't find it to be particularly compelling. But
Did you play with Foreteller?
I used
but
some
you
of
don't-
Foreteller, but it doesn't really matter because Foreteller, I'm sitting there going, "Hurry up, get to the point."
Oh,
but
see,
I
I'm
also
not. I love
skip
it.
a
I'm
lot
right
of
there.
scenes when I play video games.
Love it.
Oh, you're a
Oh,
monster.
wow. Do you
You're
really
a
even play them?
monster.
You don't ever skip a scene?
Never.
I feel like that's a lie.
Well, if I've died already and I'm watching a scene again, the first time I'm watching it, no.
Sometimes like 20 minutes, I'm like, I do not care.
What
I
games do
rescued
you
your
play that
dog.
are 20-minute cutscenes, man?
There's a lot of them.
Japanese RPGs?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't play them that
They go
much.
on and on
They do,
and on
they
and
do.
on
I
and
know.
on.
I used to play them, not really anymore for that very reason. No, I do not normally skip cutscenes. And so maybe this would bother me if it is that much and it's not that interesting.
I want to be clear. I think it's pretty good, but I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. Here's the main thing. This game has so much content. Like an expansion feels like I got this is only you should not get this unless you finish the base game, in my opinion. There's that much content in that base game.
Wow. Okay.
It's a pretty huge game.
I mean, would this be like Gloomhaven coming out with an expansion, kind of like that much?
Sure, they do it too. Wait, how's Joey
know,
have
but
a
that's
quote
what
on
I'm
here
saying.
already?
What, Joey?
I played it.
Well, so did I. They didn't ask me for a quote. Because I would have
Well,
been
that looks like it's
It's a
pulled.
good game
Look at that.
dusk.
It's like a whole dissertation.
Yeah. Wow. Did ChatGPT write that, Joey?
You can't afford ChatGPT. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they already do pitch the foreteller thing. So a lot of stuff going on here. That box is huge. I do wish, as a side note, that they have a better way to transport stuff than these giant brick boxes, because there's no
Yeah.
good way to carry them.
Yeah.
You know,
I
I mean,
agree.
other than this, you know, you're walking around like there's no other way to. There's no handle, nothing,
Right.
you know, and you just have to carry this chunk around.
Should come in a tub.
Chunk.
Tub with handles.
What is this? She sings a song about the
She's the one that does the
soundtrack?
like kind of the ethereal, the
All right, cool.
All right.
yeah, the ooh.
Ooh, yeah, that's really
Next.
there, guys.
Mesopotamia, another giant game, 1,300 backers. Although I am kind of interested in this one. This is giving
This
me
is
a bit of Kemet vibes.
Big 4X type game
Yes.
is what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
With everything you can think of thrown in, seems to be. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? You want dice runes? You got dice runes.
And that's your action selection, right? I mean, your
Yeah.
dice, yeah. I really like those dice, though.
Yeah,
I like
they're
those
neat.
D4s.
You can get them made in the deluxe one. You can get them from real human bones.
I do like their little mechanics here. They're like abstract, thematic 10.
Oh, yeah, how they put everything they want on the
Nothing's
right.
abstracted.
I bet. Yeah, you're right. But I bet no matter what, all their games are going to always be a 10 on theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Family 8. That way you can say, well, maybe calm 8 or take that. This is not a cozy game. But I do like the dual layer boards. I like how it looks, although it really does. The gameplay doesn't look like Kemet, but the look of the game looks like Kemet.
Yes.
Which isn't necessarily bad.
I do like that board of like the revealing, you know, it reminds me of that Robin Hood game, right?
Yeah,
Where you
yeah. You
change
pop
the physical
pieces off of
board.
it.
Yeah.
And I love building things like pyramids and ziggurats like that,
Yeah.
layer at a time.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I hope this is good. Does it say who the designer is?
I mean, I'm sure it does somewhere.
Because I'm going through why
King
Backus now.
Tut.
King Tut. Let's go
Going
down to the
down the very
rewards. There's the
bottom.
Gilgamesh and the Hammurabi pledge. Whoo! So much stuff.
This is a
Usually down near the
gigantic
bottom,
game,
right?
too. That's the other thing.
Who are they working with?
Big board theory. Oh.
Yeah, where is the
Usually
designer? I'm
somewhere.
trying
Don't
to
worry
find
about
Is
it.
it like
it.
our
Back
team
it
or something
now.
like that? There's not an our team button.
I'm sorry, there's so much here.
Wow.
Let's go back up to Project Story. It's from Meeple Pug. What else have they made? Have they made anything? Dark Blood.
Uh-oh.
That's a swing.
That's
Okay,
dangerously
wow.
close to hell.
All right, there.
There's the
Richard
artist.
saying I'm not going from BGG. I'm not going to try to pronounce that.
Okay. All right. Well,
Solo mode.
Interesting.
yeah, how did I get into the solo mode? All right. Oh, solo gameplay. Let's look at stretch goals. Extra trade tokens. Let's look at add-ons. I want that Hanging Gardens miniature a lot, though.
That's
You
really
just want
cool.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it looks really awesome. I'm always considering how many dungeon crawls come out. We don't see the same amount of 4X games come out.
Sure, especially with this kind of attention to like overproduction, and I don't mean that as a slight at all. I really do mean that. You know, most dungeon crawl games are overproduced, but Euro games and 4X games and other kind of games, when they do overproduce, people roll their eyes like crazy. They're like, "Oh, you don't need that." It's like, well, you don't need that for these other games either, but we got them. You know, we are into it, so.
Yeah.
It's fine. Somebody wants this version of this game, then have at it.
We're not done with big projects yet, though. Black Rose Wars comes out for the 3rd time.
Yes.
Black Rose Wars. Why
I will
don't
say,
you come?
it doesn't get checked out of our library very much, considering how like it made another $1 million here. So Black Rose Wars, have you? I don't think you've played it, right?
I've not,
Have you
no.
played Adrenaline CG?
Yes.
So it's like Adrenaline with spells. That's the
I'm
best way to
in.
describe it. You run around and you have some spells that you are good at. You cast them, but you're getting more spells. If you go to some rooms, you get these massive forbidden spells that you shouldn't be having. It's a little more complex than Adrenaline. But basically, you run around shooting off spells. There's monsters in rooms that will attack you, and so you're trying to point them to go hit other people.
I like this.
There's different schools of magic and stuff, which
Yeah.
are card types. You know,
This
like
seems really intriguing. I like.
I like it. You just have to realize you're going to be saying, okay, what card did you play? I played this card. Okay, this is what happens.
Yeah.
And every room has a special ability too.
Yeah.
So you have to remember that. Okay, so I'm in this room. I have that special ability. I play this card, which does this.
it's a lot.
But I still
it's
enjoy
a decent
it.
amount. Yeah, this looks cool. I'm glad that they're reworking it. It sounds like they might be tweaking a lot of those schools of magic and adding some new ones. I'm hoping they're not getting lost in the weeds too much here. I always feel like any game like this that does well and you want to get more people into your game because money and just kind of penetration into the hobby, you should be erring on the side of making your game simpler, not more complex.
Well, they did say they streamlined some of it, right?
Yes,
They
but I'm not...
streamlined for quicker rules, but did they have to do that because they added so much that they had to
what
pull
does that
back?
mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Right.
I'm hoping the game is a little... I like it, like I said, but I wouldn't be upset if it was a little lighter and a little punchier. That would be a good move, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah, this
does
looks
look
pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the way this one looks a lot.
Yeah.
All right, and our last thing and most expensive, not the game itself, is the Lord of the Rings, the Confrontation Ultimate Edition. But here's what I love. So, obviously, this is the Lord of the Rings Confrontation. Great game from Reiner Knizia. It's basically Lord of the Rings Stratego with asymmetrical sides. Very cool game. And they did a really good job here. This is Christian Peterson running this company, who used to run Fantasy Flight games. The art is fantastic. It has
Really
a look
is.
of Lord of the Rings, but not the same as a lot of... I mean, this is not Fantasy Flight's Lord of the
It's
Rings.
not.
This is not based
Right.
on the movies. It's good. It looks really good. So that's fantastic. It originally came in this small little box here. That was the size of...
It's kind of squarish, right?
Yep, this is the
Yeah, it's
size.
like Lost City size.
Yeah.
And then they made it in this bigger box, but even in this bigger box, if you put all the pieces, they would fit into the smaller box, almost.
Yes,
Oh,
they
okay.
took about a quarter.
We have it in the library. You can go look at it, and it's like this much space. So they're making it again, and that's fine. I like the look of it, but this collector's edition is what cracks me up. But I did notice they dropped the price on it
Oh?
because the base and table leg are sold separately.
Oh, so it's just like
That's why they dropped the price?
That's why when you go down here, where's the pledges? The different pledges here, you'll notice that it's $2,199. But that's without the leg of the table.
What?
Okay.
So let's go
okay.
look at add-ons.
So is it meant to just be like put on
Base
your...
and table leg, $500.
Yeah, so you can buy that thing and you put it on a table.
On a table, right, or on your coffee table or
Yeah.
whatever. You can still
Or-
play
Put
it.
on a real cheap card table just to show
Yeah,
people.
you could do that too.
Or you buy a leg for it that permanently is a leg, and that's another $500.
Wow.
The base and leg.
Yeah.
Can I buy just the base and table leg
I feel like you
without
could.
it,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like they would allow it.
and
It's an
then
add-on.
just put like a piece of garbage cardboard on there and play Uno?
And play, yeah, or Stratego.
Also,
Yes.
come on.
Wow.
When you separate it like that, it looks worse because what table leg, single table leg like that is worth $500? This is not an antique.
Right.
I don't
It almost
know.
has me more questioning. Would I
don't
want
know.
something with one leg? You know, you almost want the 4 so that it
It has a
is
big
balanced.
base at the
It does,
bottom
but
of
like
it.
because you separate them, it has me asking that question.
Yeah.
If it was just like here it is, and you get it, you know, with this podium, you know, I'd be like, all right, cool.
So I think I'm going to lose
Oh.
our bet where we said how many of these copies would sell because it's at 156, which is, I said 300.
Wow.
But 156 people is still a lot of people to pay $2,200 for a single game.
Without
Here's my
a
question,
leg.
right? 156, you said? How many of them are getting the leg?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's probably 156, right? You go
But
in
you
there,
don't know.
You
I
know
don't
that is,
know.
You
I
buy the
need-
card. The guy's like, "Do you want air conditioning?" You're like, "Well, I have to."
No,
Nah,
I
keep it. I got
want
my
to know
own.
the answer to this.
Now, that being said, we've been really focusing on that collector's pledge. I think the standard pledge for $50 looks amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
game. That is an auto back type thing. If you like Knizia or you like his games, it looks gorgeous. You do not need the $2,200 pledge. And this one's been bought 1,000 times, and we'll see it in
Oh,
stores.
okay, yeah.
You know, this one's doing well. And if all the collector's pledge did, thunder.
That's a real big thunder.
If all the collector's pledge does is bring eyes to the project,
Yeah.
then they've won.
I agree.
That's
I
true,
agree. It's
yeah.
almost like a marketing ploy, being like, "Look at this crazy thing we made." That's fine.
Right, and I'd almost rather that than it be just a little markup, because sometimes you see the games, it's like $50 for the retail or $70 for deluxe, and it's just enough to where you're like, I want the deluxe, but for $20, but I don't know,
Yeah.
you know, and it like really tears here. I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm getting the collectors. There's such a huge gap.
Right.
You know, if it was like $80 and $150, it would be a difficult choice.
I do wonder. Well, there's this premium pledge up here that's $120, right? And I think that people will look at that and go, "That's kind of pricey." Oh, it's cheap compared to that collector's pledge. Done.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess so.
Yeah, that's true.
Either way, I'm glad the game's coming back, and I'm curious to see where Ghost Galaxy is going to go in the future because they started off by making Keyforge,
They bought Keyforge.
and then they kind of just have been sitting on that for a while.
Yeah, they're running Gamefound campaigns for that, though, which are doing very well.
Sure, but I was hoping they would go back and make some board games.
Well, here
And
we
this
go.
is one, and I know Christian Peterson is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. In fact, they told me he fixed a minor thing in the game that was off thematically, and I was like, cool. It
I
doesn't
like
mean
that.
anything to me.
Oh,
but,
nice.
you know, it's
I do.
and again, I saw this in person, and I was like, yes, this is pretty spectacular. I'm trying to figure out what the difference between the premium and standard pledges is. Are these like painted? The backs of these, like, or is there like a wash on them?
It says a premium upgraded components.
Because they both look good. This one looks better, obviously. They're gray instead of this white.
I wonder, maybe it's not just plastic?
Does it have it on the sidebar?
More
Can
than
you
twice
get
as much, so it's got to be something.
Oh, I guess that's the Ultimate Edition. They're leading off with
the
that.
ultimate
It's made from
retail,
wood, reclaimed from the
white,
dark
maybe
forest.
components? Oh, no, right there. No, that's rewards.
collectors. Oh, there's a
Look
human
at
I
it.
love it.
Look at it. Look at
I
the
love
leg.
it. I love-
Look at that $500 leg. Person not included. Alrighty, well, that's the games we're looking at for today. We're going to take a look at some other projects, but first, here's Mark.
Streed.
This Dice Tower Spotlight is brought to you by Octasion, a fast-paced word game that begins with a forgotten plague, not of body, but of mind. Legend has it, a strange pandemic once swept colonial America. It didn't cause coughing or fever. It stole people's ability to think of 8-letter words. The only cure? Speed spelling under pressure. Even Washington himself used it as a weapon, because in Octasion, words are war. Each round of the game, you're racing the clock to recreate a specific 8-letter sequence using special letter cards, each marked with a number from 1 to 8. But here's the twist: no duplicate numbers allowed. So you'll be hunting, swapping, and second-guessing every move while trying to shout, "Got it," before your opponents do. Solo, head-to-head, or team play, it's chaotic, competitive, and totally contagious. Can you cure the Octasian? For more information, please check out the campaign over on Kickstarter.
Alrighty, mineral-rich water and coffee from the air.
What?
Yeah.
How do you get coffee from the air?
I think
You have to buy their
the
pods.
water comes from the
Oh,
air.
whoa.
So how long does it take to get water from there? I mean, it sounds all well and good, but
Well, my dude here said that he can get a gallon a day.
A gallon a day, right. And so if you think about that, that's how much it can pull out of the air, but how long does that take? Is it always pulling it out, and it's like how much is in the reservoir? And then,
What do you mean?
so like, does it, when you say, I want water, does it start pulling it from the air? Is it like constantly pulling it and like making
It's
a
constantly
supply?
pulling it and supplying and storing
Right, so
it.
how
yes.
quickly does that happen is what I'm saying.
A day.
I
1
would
gallon
need
a
one
day.
gallon. Right,
A
but if-
gallon would work for one person,
Yeah,
maybe two.
maybe two,
If
but
you're not drinking
yeah.
enough water, like I definitely am not drinking enough water, then yes, a gallon is enough for 1 or 2 people. But
Not
Yeah.
if you're using it for cooking and stuff too.
yeah,
though.
no.
No, this is just for drinking.
I would need to taste it. I want to know what water
I
from here
as
tastes
well,
like.
yeah.
It's going through a filter also, I think. So there's a little filter in this
Yeah.
machine. It's neat. He's like, even in the desert is what they said. I'm like, there will definitely be less water in that
Well, that
air.
was my question. In Florida, do you get 2 gallons a day?
right, yeah.
No, I'm serious.
You need
I
to
mean-
hook up a hose to this thing for how much water you're going to get.
I filled my pool.
Oh, I do like the little coffee pods. You can put a little coffee thing in there. Obviously uses that reclaimed water from the air. And then
Any
the coffee
Keurigs
pod
work.
itself decays. It's
Yeah.
biodegradable.
Right, but you
so-
can also use your Keurigs or anything like that in
Yeah,
there.
I
Yeah,
think
I'll
it
say
was
in the
an
comments. It's
espresso, I
basically a dehumidifier.
Yeah,
Right?
that being said,
Yeah.
$500 is a very pricey cost for this. I mean, if let's say you're buying bottled water, $500 is
Quite a bit of water, yeah.
more than a year for sure.
Yeah.
Water's not that expensive, and even like if you're going to filter your own water with filters, then they're
Yeah.
way cheaper than $500.
I feel like
Yeah.
this is really good technology. In like 5 years, this is probably something similar to what we're going to. And I
Sure.
also hope so. Did we just...
Talking bad about that. Wow.
Oh.
I'll
Something
tell you what,
back.
I like the idea of this somewhere where you can't get water there easily.
Okay.
And then you can just pull water literally from the air. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Or in like a country where the water is not good, like don't drink the water type
Take
thing.
it
Right,
with
yeah.
you,
'Cause
yeah.
There's like parasites in the water and stuff
Take
like
it
that.
camping
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Don't you need to plug it in though? You run it through a generator?
Yeah, maybe from a vehicle or a battery, but then you can just take water at that
I have it in
point.
the back of my car.
Yeah.
Just constantly running while I'm driving. Reach back, I fill it while I'm driving. Okay.
Oh, I like that.
All right. Twistsaber, the world's first Twistsaber, patent pending.
This was...
This is done very well. So I'm not trying to mock. It was the sort of thing where I was like, I didn't know the problem existed.
Right.
And now we have a solution.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
he is, storing it on his belt buckle upside down, and the lightsaber's not coming out. It was a problem.
You know how it's they normally do this stuff with those little parts, or you have to go
Yep.
like that.
Yeah.
And then after 2 times, it works twice, and then after that, it's like, and it only comes out to then you have to grab it and like finish
pull the
it,
rest, yeah.
and then you're like, okay, we're
Oh,
ready.
yeah.
This
You know-
is
you
a
know a lot
twist
about
saber.
this.
Yeah.
Isn't there ones with buttons that will shoot it out too, though?
What?
Yeah, I think
How
they
fast?
suffer a little bit from the same problem where they like lose their oomph.
How do the ones at Disney work?
They might just be the whoosh kind.
I don't know, because those cost. You can go in there and you pick the lightsaber and everything. It's
Oh
cost.
no, you're talking about the ones that have a tube?
Those are crazy. Oh, those don't retract though, right?
No, they
They don't,
don't.
no,
They
that's
have
like-
like
that's
a
different,
they have like a tube with light in it.
Yeah.
With gas in it. I think. I don't know. But this is pretty cool. Like I do like the way this works.
I wouldn't have shown a picture of Kylo Ren there. You don't want Disney coming after you. Don't give him any.
Yeah, it seems pretty neat.
I don't understand. It says Twistsaber 2 is for adults only. If your kids find it, you may never get it back. So it's not for adults only? I mean, it's supposed to be a joke, but...
I think it's maybe a joke. I don't know.
Joke, yeah.
$119 for a lightsaber, baby!
He's making $250,000.
That's insane.
Twist and shout.
Yeah.
Way to go, man.
Alrighty.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, PitShower.
So let's say
the
you're
fast,
out
easy way to
and you
deep
need to
clean and
clean
refresh your pits.
armpits, and you're tired of saying, you know what, I'm just going to spray some Axe on there and hope for the best.
Right.
I mean, not a bad idea, but no.
I think I want to get one of these and
Like-
take it to conventions.
Oh, everyone
Just
should get
so
one
I
of these.
no longer have to shower at conventions. I could do this at the gaming table is my point.
I don't...
At the game.
Here's the thing. I know it looks a little weird and everything. I don't know that it's necessarily a terrible idea.
Oh, I
It's
think
not.
it's a wonderful idea.
It's not awful idea. It's just the whole portable nature of it, and
It's bigger than it should be, right?
it is. And you shouldn't do this in your car. I don't care what the commercial says.
I love the one guy who had it in his glove compartment, and it was
It's
the
like,
only thing in his glove
thing, yeah.
compartment. I'm like, yeah, it's enormous, guy. Also, if you're going to make this whole entire contraption, you have to make the thing in there interchangeable. You got the brush for the armpits. Give me a brush for brushing my teeth. Like, after I do this, I want to be able to switch out the brush.
And then you're like this.
Put in like another one and go, you know what I mean?
But also, it's like squirting water up, and so you have to have that like tight on your armpit
do,
to
for
not
sure.
get
They
water
never showed that
everywhere.
thing.
No.
Actually working. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see though having this in a card. You get somewhere you're like, oh no, I'm going to meet so and so.
Is this
Bill.
any better, right? Is this solving any issues that we can't kind of get around with, like, just wet wipes?
Oh, it's probably
No.
better than that, right?
I assume it's better than wet wipes.
Yeah.
They did show, like, did you see the comparison with the orange?
What? No.
They had shown orange and they get, like, dirty with something and then, like, wet wipe the orange and then use this on the orange and they do a close-up. And, of course, the orange is bumpy. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, the wet wipe didn't do
Didn't
it.
even
I'm
get
like,
it, yeah.
I'm not an orange.
Right. I mean, your skin is porous
me
though,
feel.
but
Come
Think you're an
on.
orange.
yeah, no, I mean, I think the only usable time, like the only time I can think about using this, like after work, and you're like, oh man, I have this dinner to go to or something to refresh. But any other time that I'm sweaty enough that I need to like full wash on my pits, I'm going home to shower.
I think
You know?
so, but I think what you're saying, maybe there are people who have to jump out, or they're like realtors, and they're
Yeah.
running in the hot sun into a house,
Right.
and they're like, oh no, the people are about to show up. Get out the pit stop.
Right. Or like if you traveled all night, on the plane and you're going into a conference the next morning, like, took a red eye, something like that. But I'm not traveling with this thing. It's a whole piece of luggage itself.
Very large.
So.
I need an attachment for my butt also.
yeah.
Butt stop. I'm just saying, if I'm going to get
Please
clean.
stop. Okay.
Okay? The pits are not the only part. I want to,
Okay,
respect.
You want a portable
Moving on.
bidet. Yeah.
Moving on.
Oh,
All
my
right.
gosh.
Toilet water. This was canceled,
Oh.
but I kept it here
Wait,
anyway.
Oh, we did
Is
this
this the same
before. Yeah,
thing?
but you've
But
never
it's-
seen
no.
it.
Oh, was I not here?
No. So this is a new one though, because it's a new video, it's a new person, it's a new company. So I don't know if they rebranded.
It's still
Did
called
you
toilet
notice?
water.
I know, but did
Oh,
you see it? Okay, hit play. Look, this is a
Oh,
completely
okay.
different.
Talk about a butt washing machine. That's not okay.
No,
but
look, this is a
toilet water's
completely
fine.
different
I
video,
kind of hope
completely
this,
different vibe.
I kind of hope this would work for them because honestly, Liquid Death is doing so well. It's so
Yeah.
stupid. This is the same thing. It's
Yeah.
just basically a practical joke you give people.
This is whereas the last one was like, me and my kids made a joke and we thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
so
you're
we're actually
right.
doing it. This is a completely different. So either the same two people had the same stupid idea.
No, the can is
Or-
identical.
Then they completely overhaul.
waterboarding
She is waterboarding.
Okay, you know what though? If they sold this at a store, I would 100% buy it, and then I would drink it like in front of my kids, just so they're like,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, Dad, I'm like, oh, it was cheap. It would be a fun. I would buy it as a joke. I'm just surprised
the
it
one
didn't do
time.
better.
I would hand it out for Halloween. Yeah.
They could sell this at Spencer's.
100%. Probably do.
Yeah,
would
I
buy
agree.
this.
I
Yep.
agree. Also, this is not okay for her to be waterboarding
Right.
that guy.
But again, it's completely. It's weird to me that it's a new campaign of the exact same thing. If you look at it, it's a first created even. Like, they completely overhauled.
It's always possible they saw the other one.
The can is identical. Like that sort of
So
like
insane.
no brand name look.
Toilet water.
Yeah, we covered this,
Yep.
and it looks exactly like that. That's so bizarre. So bizarre.
All right, well.
All right.
We're going to do our picks of the week, but before we have that, let's go back to Mark.
Streed!
Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and of course, I'm here with Alita. And we just have a couple games to look at, so let's get to it. And first, we have Far, Far Out. Now, this is a space adventure game. Yes, there'll be aliens to battle. Yes, you'll be battling your fellow players, but mostly it's about exploration. Going to planets, finding relics, acquiring a crew. Every crew member has a different dice that will aid you in battle, perhaps. Also, you're going to be expanding your ships, upgrading them, and just moving out across the galaxy, trying to get the most points in the end. And next up, we have Hell Legends. Now, this is a dungeon crawl cooperative play, and you're going to be trying to earn XP, killing monsters, going through a series of different adventures, and expanding your characters. So, if it seems like maybe the video game Diablo, yes, it has those vibes big time. And lastly, we have Regulus. Now, this is a skirmish battler, but you're trying to also hold the middle of the board, which is the Regulus zone. And I like how the battle boards are just a book that you flip open, as well as fantasy creatures you're going to be dealing with and fighting in the midst of this battle. But it does have that King of the Hill vibe to it for sure. And so, for my pick of the week, I'm going to give it up for Hell Legends because I am such a Diablo fan, and this really does feel like Diablo on the tabletop. The different missions, the different monsters you go up against, and how you expand your character is all the things I love in that kind of RPG style game. And I want to give a nod to Borealis Arctic Expedition. This is a Lucky Duck game. It is not a crowd-funded game, but I did the preview for it, so go give it a closer look. All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
All right, it is time for picks of the week. Let's start with those not at the table.
Hey there, everybody. It's Mike DeLisio, and in a pick that's going to surprise nobody, I'm going with Lord of the Rings, The Confrontation. But I do want to specify, I'm just talking about the standard edition or maybe the deluxe edition, not the ridiculous, over-the-top, ultimate, whatever they're calling it, edition for thousands of dollars. I'm afraid that the quality of this game is going to get overshadowed by people focusing on that one crazy pledge level. It's a really solid two-player, slightly asymmetric game. It has been out for a while, but has been long out of print, and so I'm really glad that a new edition of this really good two-player game is getting back out there. So there's my pick of the week. Let's find out what everyone else has to say.
Hey everybody, I'm Joey Evans, and there were a lot of great projects this week, but my pick of the week is Isofarian Guard, which comes with the new expansion. This right here is a campaign game, and there's so much going for this, from the story to the little puzzles in there, but the big thing for me is that it is the best battle mechanic I've seen. I love that chip pulling from the bag, and also the way you build up, you put more chips in there, you seem to prepare for battle. I really like that. And this is a new expansion with 2 new guards, and they seem to have like a flip side, like I think call it Veilward or whatever, that gives me like Sanderson kind of Stormlight Archives vibe. Anyway, I'm really excited to see what this does, because again, man, the battle mechanic is so fun. Makes you want to fight in the game, only in the game. Anyway, that's my pick of the week, Isofarian Guard. Let's send it back and see what the crew thought.
All right, I'm going to agree with Mike DeLisio here. Lord of the Rings is also my pick, and I agree with him. We get distracted by the ridiculous one, but I like this game. Not because of Knizia, despite Knizia.
Yeah, this game is good despite Knizia existing.
All right, I'm back in.
You know what I mean? Sure, he made it, but it's kind of like, it's like he discovered it more than he made it.
I'm just saying I like the game because of how it plays, not because of who the designer is.
Thank you. Okay, you don't have a shrine to the guy who made the game, is what you're saying.
Mike, he said the surprise of no one, but I was surprised. I thought he would pick a different game.
I was actually surprised,
was a surprise,
too.
But I really do enjoy this game. I think it's a fantastic Stratego variant, and I think it's interesting in how different each one plays, because the bad guys basically are straight brute force, and the good guys have to be sneaky and treacherous, which is a neat back and forth.
Interesting.
All right, what about y'all?
I am agreeing with Joey, actually. Mark almost got me on board there with the hell, because I am a huge Diablo fan again, if he says it's playing like it. But Isofarian Guard is going to be my pick of the week. I am super excited about this. It definitely flew past my radar the first time. This is kind of reignited, I guess, or not even reignited, maybe ignited an interest in it, that I'm really intrigued by that bag building in order for the combat system. I love a heavy theme, big paragraphs, especially if they are read to me. I don't like big paragraphs where I have to read them myself. But if it's like voice acting, something like Foreteller, I love it. I mean, it's definitely giving me kind of Oathsworn vibes, but more with a bag instead of actually hand management. And I'm excited. Yes, I want to dive into this.
Well, you got to break the tie here.
Okay, I'm going to go with
Deep
Black
Regrets.
Rose Wars.
Okay.
Deep Regrets was close. It's a close second, I want to say. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Black Rose Wars Revised Edition. Because, again, I already know I like the game, but it's also one I haven't played in a long time. It's not like I've been taking it off the shelf and playing it. I don't own a copy. I
think I would wait for this version at this point.
That's what I'm saying. And so it's like, well, I wasn't playing it, but not because I didn't like it, just because it is a little much. If this streamlines that experience for me, it comes out, it's brand new, of course it's going to be a shiny new thing, then maybe it'll hook me again. And I'd be happy to jump back into this one with whatever they're doing to it and just kind of see what I think of it again. Black Rose War is a neat box. There's a lot of interesting stuff in there. So I'm looking forward to it. That's my pick.
Nice.
Well, there you go, folks. That is Crowdsurfing for another week. We'll be back tomorrow morning
Cheers.
with the news. So join us at 9 a.m. for the news of the week. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
And I'm Camilla.
See you then.
Bye. Hey folks, thanks for joining us for that video. If you haven't yet, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hey, make sure you check out what's happening, where I'll cover an app on an iOS or a Switch device, and you can check it out along with me. Thanks very much. You've been watching The Dice Tower.